Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Abdul Hadi. As you know, I am the student of Freehan College. Today I am back with another AI session and it's an AI session number 51 of today, and we're gonna discuss about it, and our topic is how to avoid toxic people and spend day with positivity. So we're gonna chat with chat GPT, and first of all I share the screen and go to chat GPT. We Hi GPT, how are you? Hello GPT, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great, thank you. How about you? How's your day going so far?
I am good. Thanks for asking. Actually, I
Glad
want
to.
to take your interview and ask some questions on the base of how to avoid toxic people and spend their day with positivity. So, are you ready?
Absolutely, I'm totally ready. That sounds like a really interesting topic. Go ahead and fire away with your questions, and I'll do my best to help out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's start. So, my first question is, what is main negative emotion? And I am so uncomfortable acknowledging in myself.
That's a really thoughtful question. I think for a lot of people, it can be things like fear, shame, or even anger. And it can definitely be uncomfortable to acknowledge those emotions. But recognizing them is often the first step toward growth and positivity. Let me know if there's a specific emotion you're curious about.
Okay, my second question is, do I feel guilty or weak after I have expressed a difficult emotion?
Yeah, that's definitely something a lot of people experience. It's pretty common to feel a bit of guilt or even weakness after opening up about tough emotions, but it's also important to remember that it's completely natural and healthy to express yourself. Over time, it can actually lead to more positivity and stronger relationships.
Okay, my next question is, when a painful truth arises, is my immediate internal response to suppress it with a positive mantra?
Yeah, that definitely happens a lot. Sometimes our instinct is to try to quickly replace painful thoughts with positivity or mantras. While that can be helpful in the long run, it's also really important to allow yourself to fully feel and process those emotions first. Balancing that acknowledgement with positive reinforcement can be a great approach.
Okay, my next question is, do I believe true success requires being happy or cheerful all time?
That's a great question. I think a lot of people assume that success means constant happiness or cheerfulness, but in reality, it's more about resilience and growth through ups and downs. It's totally okay to experience a range of emotions along the way, and that can actually contribute to a more meaningful and sustainable kind of success.
Okay, my next question is, what is the one recurring personal problem I consistently avoid addressing by telling myself it will all work out?
That's such an insightful question. Often it can be something like procrastination or maybe avoiding difficult conversations or even not setting boundaries. It's pretty common to reassure ourselves that everything will just sort itself out. But sometimes facing those underlying issues directly can lead to a lot of growth and peace. It's definitely a journey for sure.
Okay, my next question is, how does my personal history and upbringing influence my belief that showing struggle is unacceptable?
That's a really profound question. A lot of times, our upbringing and personal history shape our beliefs about struggle. For example, if we grew up in an environment where success was highly valued or where showing vulnerability was discouraged, we might internalize the idea that struggling means failing. Understanding that influence can be a really powerful step toward shifting those beliefs and embracing the natural ups and downs of life.
Okay, my next question is, do I tend to use humor or distraction to avoid serious emotional processing in my own life?
Absolutely. That's something a lot of people do. Humor and distraction can be really helpful coping mechanisms in the moment. They can lighten the mood and help us manage stress, but at the same time, it can sometimes mean that we're not fully processing those deeper emotions. So, being aware of that pattern is a great first step toward finding a balance and giving yourself space to really feel and process.
Okay, my next question is when a friend shares bad news, what is my immediate and honest reaction? Is it validate or minimize?
That's a really meaningful question. A lot of times, our initial reaction can depend on our own comfort level or even our past experiences. Sometimes we might instinctively try to minimize the bad news to make things feel less heavy, while other times we might really validate and empathize deeply. Just being mindful of that response can help us grow in how we support our friends.
It's spending time
Absolutely. Feel
when with people who frequently express difficult emotion because they bring me down.
Yeah, that's definitely something that can happen. It's natural to feel a bit drained or overwhelmed when we're around a lot of heavy emotions consistently. And that's okay. It's important to set boundaries and take care of your own well being. At the same time, finding a balance and offering support while also taking care of yourself can be really helpful in the long run.
Okay. So my next question on this topic is like how much people spend their day when they feel very toxic and using other people's.
Yeah, that's a really interesting angle. Sometimes when people are feeling toxic or overwhelmed, they might end up spending a lot of time ruminating on negative thoughts or even leaning heavily on others to kind of vent and offload those emotions. It can definitely impact how they spend their day and their energy levels. Finding healthy ways to cope and recharge can really help break that cycle.
Okay, my next question is am I more comfortable giving advice or simply listening without speaking?
That's a great question. A lot of people have a natural tendency either toward offering advice or leaning into that listening role. Some people find comfort in giving guidance, while others feel more at ease by just being present and holding space for the other person. There's definitely value in both, and sometimes it can vary depending on the situation and the person you're with. That's an interesting angle. Sometimes we do use phrases like just look on the bright side, or it could be worse, or even everything happens for a reason without really meaning to minimize someone's feelings. It's definitely helpful to be aware of those phrases and maybe find more validating ways to support others.
Okay, my next question is how do I happy words those who express a range of emotions?
Such a thoughtful question. Often we might look for consistency and depth in someone's emotional expression. People who have a range of emotions can sometimes feel more genuine because it reflects a more holistic view of life. On the other hand, someone who appears constantly happy might just have a really positive outlook, or they might be masking other feelings. Ultimately, it's about noticing patterns and trusting your intuition and also being open to deeper connections.
Okay, my next question is what would I do to myself 15 minutes a day simply feel whatever emotion is present without judgment?
That's such a powerful practice. Setting aside just 15 minutes a day to really sit with whatever you're feeling without judgment can be incredibly healing. It might mean practicing mindfulness or just observing your emotions as they come and go. Over time, it can help you build more self awareness and self compassion. It's definitely a wonderful habit to cultivate.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. You gave me a very good answer. And now we end the session. Okay, bye.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad I could help. If you ever have more questions,
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Now we end the session. So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, so comment below. I will answer, inshallah. So